All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We got the Fed today at 2 p.m. speaking. Let me double check if there's anything else slated today of note. Got some oil and gas numbers at 10:30, but no, mostly it's the Fed will be speaking and be giving their report at 2 p.m. And I think there's going to be a cataclysmic reaction because the markets are only adjusting based on the valuation expectation changes from tariff talk, and then what the Fed says will be a snap towards something definitive. So that whether that's a valuation that's at a worse spot, I don't know. I'm sure the Fed will be asked questions about the tariffs and how does that affect inflation and rate cuts and the outlook and everything. And so it's just going to have, there's just going to be, it's going to be a very integral last 2 hours of the market. The first bit of the market today is going to be a bit boring. Some of the same, because everyone's going to be basically waiting until that 2 p.m. And then tomorrow we actually get inflation numbers, CPI, core inflation numbers in the morning before the market opens, 1 hour before the market opens. So you have the last 2 hours of the day today to see what the market, how's the market going to respond to the Fed. I think the Fed could give good news and the market still wouldn't be too impressed. I think if it's neutral news, I think the market's still going to be pessimistic. And if it's bad news, the market's going to say, see, I told you, and it's going to sell off strongly. So I think you have three scenarios here. One, no one's really changed or swayed. So we stay the same. We stay here. Two, he doesn't really say anything anyway that would sway you. So then the market actually remains pessimistic, which means it probably would go down. Or three, he says something that illustrates the sort of a negative outlook, and then the market's going to tank even further. So there's not a lot of positive lining going on. And then whatever that is, whatever that reaction is, and then it has to be absorbed overnight and overseas, internationally. Tomorrow morning, 1 hour before the market opens, we'll have the CPI numbers. And those numbers could surprise. I think it's possible those numbers could lift the market. Because good inflation numbers, which is kind of what we expect, good inflation numbers could cause there to be some rebound, some long-lasting rebound. I think basically good CPI, good CPI numbers, if they were surprise level, basically would cement the lows that just happened either today or yesterday or the day before or on Friday. It would cement those lows. Now, if the CPI comes in bad, I think everyone, sky is falling, it's recession, and all that kind of talk will start happening. And then, of course, we have PPI numbers on Friday. I mean, this is just going to be one crazy 3 days here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I would highly recommend, again, educationally, that you be sidelined and in cash. There's really nothing that you can't get into a month from now. In other words, there could be a reaction today, but the follow through on that reaction could take weeks. I'm getting ready to get an entry potentially here on this FIO day trade stock. FIO, PHIO. I'm watching it here. $2. Okay, and the entry could be 236. So about 1,500 shares. Okay, this might happen here. $236. So I was looking at these different day trade opportunities. This one you got Vero and FIO, and Vero doesn't look good. And FIO looks good. See this follow through? We want to catch a follow through like that. If we don't get a follow through like this, 1, 2, 3, 5-minute candles in a row, something like that with a little flag and then even further, then it's just not in it, and then you got to cut it. So if this right now hits 235, that's an entry for me. And if it breaks down 209, I'll probably get out, but I'm going to risk my size to $2. Apparently I should be getting 1,700 shares if that's the case. Now, this pullback is a bit deep, so it's likely going to fake out, and then we have to VCP. Just keep watching, though. We'll see. The market is going to open in 2.5 minutes. This was Target, $88 now. Oh, it looks like Target maybe has reported earnings and was not very favorable. Could be what happened. I'm not seeing an earnings indicator thing here, but it was 100 yesterday and now it's 88. 'So, there's nothing. Hey, good morning, Marcus. So there's really nothing to get too excited about. We got the Fed coming at the end of the day, CPI in the morning, and PPI on Friday morning. And so at most, I might mess around with some day trade opportunities at most. Feel okay. XXII up 140%. Let's take a quick look at that. I don't even know what that is. 22nd Century Group. Okay, this is flying for some reason. 1 hour ago, revenue growth. This thing just went from $1 to $6. A lot of potential here for sure. Would take it over $3, it looks like. 267 maybe, with a stop at 2. $800 shares. Okay, so if that happens, okay, XXII and FIO are the two ones we really care about. Vero is not really happening, but we'll keep an eye on it. And these are just for day trades. I don't recommend you day trade. But if that's something you do and you have some skill in day trading, these are this morning's opportunities. And I find FIO to have the most follow-through indication there. Okay, now if XXII gets above $3, I'll definitely get in. But if it gets above 267, I'm interested as well. Over here at 235 on FIO would be my entry. I might not be able to switch and act fast enough on either of them. Looks like XXII is kind of failing out now. And Vero is kind of happening, but it doesn't matter because Vero really lacks follow through. Even if it signals and it makes progress, it's going to be a rough, bumpy ride type of progress, and we're just not interested in that. doesn't mean there's not opportunity there for people who like rough rides, but yeah, I don't. All right, I'm about to get in on FIO. If it hits 235, there it is. Boom, I'm in. Now what I'm looking for is follow through. And look, the lack of follow through, it's immediate sell off. And it looks like I might stop out. That's it, stopped out. So that's strike one. Now, if somehow this were to shape up later or now, whatever, your stop, yeah, would have to be about 195. Entry at 240, so that's 45 cents, about 50 cents of risk, 45 cents of risk. So I'm set to take another swing at it if that happens. But that was a lack of follow through. And not a good sign when it does that. Trump is scheduled to speak at 2 p.m. today. Wow. Well, so is the Fed. Well, I don't know if this Fed is scheduled to speak, but they're going to release their report. I imagine there could be a press conference. Let me see if it mentions that. Well, it doesn't show that there's going to be any speaking. The current 1-year projection of interest rates is 3.4%. The current 2-year projection is 3.1%. So see how FIO is now failing out. I mean, so that's why you get out at your stop there. That was a bad sign. And look at it, it's just bleeding out. And this other one, Vero, like I said, even when it snags you, it doesn't follow through. FIO was the only one that had some potential follow through history, and it didn't. So that's that on that. And XXII, that could shape up to be an amazing trade. I think right now it's halted to the downside. But XXII is, that's some crazy move there, made from $1 to $6. You can't ignore that. You'll have to act fast because it looks like everybody gets out in a hurry and dumps when it does that, but it might do something like that again. And so you'd want to be watching for it to break this area here. Certainly here, this is an obvious one, $3 entry. But 275, whatever that is, 270. These areas, if it can get up and over any of that, it could go hog wild and get up to 560 and continue even to 10 perhaps. But it would have to get up there and signal pretty good. This is a pretty strong volume sell-off there, but perhaps not on the big 5-minute course of things. See here, pre-market had a really strong volume. However, that was probably the anomalous candle here. The correct volume is probably this one. This is the level you want to see. You don't want to see a red selling volume supersede. Now the market itself, let's take a look at that. Yeah, so like I said, it's probably going to be a bit of a boring day today until 2 p.m. and then the then it's going to be very interesting. Tradable? No, not really. It's not going to be really anything too tradable. Investable, yeah. I mean, that's what, money managers are using, these economic reports for, is for investing, big money. That's about all you can do right now is park money. The VIX is at 50. It's over 50. It hit 58. You can only park money right now. And then tomorrow CPI in the morning, and then Friday PPI in the morning. And so like all of these are not really tradable opportunities. Not really. I mean, you might be able to snag a scalp here and there, right? But I'm talking about day trade scalp, like a fast scalp. But we can't even swing trade scalp right now. Not really. Not too realistically. So that said, we are seeing positive green breadth in growth. And there's some names there. So we'll take a look at those and see if any of those are have any further interest to us. New, teed up, not really. TMC, the metals company, nope. UME, that certainly is doing amazing things, but it's been pretty flatline for a while. But this is like holy grail type of penny stock, it looks like. UME, AEVA, no. Although it is, again, doing interesting things. What if I push this over here? Yeah. Interesting. Oh, okay. Hertz rental car. No. AZ. No. HFFG. No. JFIN. No. Ataj. I don't know what that is. That's interesting. Adtalem Global Education. Growing annual revs, profitable last 2 years. Consistent profitability, 16% margins. This is good stuff. ATGE. So we put this on our list. ATGE. Well, there's nothing really to get in, okay? This is just a time to really just notice what has been holding strong. GKGC. Oh, that's gold. Yeah, anything tied to gold, I would just, you should just rather trade gold. Knop. And by the way, I'm not sure there's really a gold trade right now. There was. Now you're better to be holding. Dollar General, nope. WOR, nope. Grind. Yeah, that looks good. And I think I still am in this. No, I'm not. I was in a put credit spread on. No, it looks like I was in a shares position on that. And that just looks great. Yeah. GRND, is that on any of my master lists here? No. Let's put that there. How's the earnings outlook look? Oof. Highly unprofitable. Well, I'll still put it on the list because you just never know. I mean, the charts speak for themselves. Ollie. This is a classic. How are they doing on revs? Not growing revs quarterly, but that could be seasonal. Annually, they've been growing for 4 years. The margins used to be 13%, but lately it's been 8%, and that has been between 7 and 9 with rough consistency. But why the inconsistency? Well, I'm going to put it on our list. because, well, it hasn't held too strong. I'll put it on another list up here. It hasn't held too strong during this correction, but it is definitely stronger than the market. But I'm not sure I would call it a leader, though. RCAT and Qubit, so the quantum companies. No. Or NPCE, WNS, CNXC, Yala, okay. Yeah, we're already in that one. I mean, I don't know if I'm still in it. Yeah, I am. But this is gorgeous. I don't know that I would get in today, but with the market the way it is, I wouldn't get in anything. My point, though, is the SFM is just a gorgeous chart. Beautiful. Do I have that circled or starred or anything? Yeah, it should be circled and starred. Star. Okay. Circle means it's good for PCS, and maybe I didn't circle it because the liquidity. I better double check on that later. And star means just beautiful chart. Remember what I said, 90% of prior leaders do not lead anymore in the next bull run. Only 10% do. So an ACIW has some relative strength. I'll write it down here. W. We've traded that before. SysTG, ATIC, Adapt, Heritage, Grind, SFM, TGNT, Real WSM. So Real WSMX, ANIP, and WGS. There's WGS again, staying on the list. I really like this one. Interesting to see that transpires. Well, I mean, there you go, folks. It's going to be a little bit boring. The market is doing okay, so you should be happy about that. But watch out for 2 p.m. That's when you need to start to really pay attention. And then CPI in the morning, I'll be on just before the market opens. But today in the afternoon, that's when you really want to be watching out. And I'll be around in the group. So have a good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Those are the hot stocks of the day. And it looks like FIO, Vero, and XXII. Well, I was going to say they all failed out, but actually Vero is having some strength now. Vero. For you day traders, but I do see a history of lack of follow through on Vero, so I'm not going to touch it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.